Most families have never seriously thought about privacy as a design problem. They think about square footage. They think about bedroom count. They think about the kitchen layout and whether the garage is attached. Privacy is an afterthought. And it shows. Here is what structural engineers and family architects keep coming back to. The H-shaped Barndominium solves the privacy problem that every other single-story layout either partially addresses or ignores entirely. Not with walls, not with doors, with geometry, 2 wings, 1 spine, 1 courtyard that keeps the family connected without crowding anyone. Engineers recommend it for structural reasons. Families who have lived in it recommend it for reasons that have nothing to do with structure. And there is one reason on this list, the third one, that most designers will not say out loud in a client meeting. We will get there. By the end of this, you will either be sketching your own H-shaped floor plan, or you will know exactly why it is not right for your situation. Both outcomes are worth the next few minutes. Let's go. So what exactly is an H-shaped Barndominium, and why does it handle privacy differently from everything else being built right now? Picture the letter H lying flat on your land. 2 parallel wings left and right running front to back, a connecting spine in the middle joining them. That spine is the heart of the home. The kitchen, the dining room, the main living space, everything shared, everything central, positioned exactly where the crossbar of the H sits. The wings extend outward from that spine on both sides. Each wing becomes a genuinely private zone, not a bedroom at the end of a hallway. A zone with its own entrance, its own bathroom configuration, and if the family needs it, its own kitchenette. We will come back to the kitchenette point specifically, because it generates more debate in the comments than any other single feature on this channel. The courtyard, the open space the H naturally frames between the 2 wings, is not wasted land. It is the social engine of the design. A garden, a fire pit area, a play space for grandchildren, a pool if the lot and budget allow, but never assume the pool. The geometry works without it. The H-shape is single-story. That is a deliberate choice, not a limitation. 1 level means no stairs. No stairs means aging in place becomes genuinely possible. A grandparent in 1 wing does not need to navigate steps to reach the shared kitchen. A toddler visiting for the weekend cannot fall down a staircase at 2 in the morning. The privacy the H-shape delivers is not created by adding more walls or more doors. It is created by distance and geometry. The left wing and the right wing are separated by the full length of the connecting spine. To move from 1 wing to the other, you pass through the shared heart of the home. That transition is designed. Every movement between private zones passes through the shared central space. The geometry creates encounter without forcing it. Before we get into the 5 reasons, there is one reason 3 that most architects will not say directly in a client meeting. It has to do with what the H-shape does to family relationships over time, not the structure. The relationships, stay with us on that one. The first reason engineers recommend the H-shape is deceptively simple. Every room gets real light. In a standard rectangular Barndominium, the rooms at the center of the building, the rooms that sit furthest from any exterior wall, become dark. They rely on borrowed light from adjacent rooms or artificial lighting at all hours. In a large family home, those dark interior rooms tend to become storage, or they become the rooms nobody wants, or they become the source of that persistent, hard-to-name feeling that the house is slightly oppressive. The H-shape eliminates the deep interior room entirely. Because the footprint bends, because the wings extend outward from the central spine, almost every room in the house sits on an exterior wall. Every room has a window facing either the open courtyard space between the wings or the outward-facing yard beyond. That is not a small thing. Natural light changes how people feel inside a building at a biological level. It regulates sleep cycles. It improves mood in measurable ways. Architects working with aging populations, grandparents who will spend significant time inside the home, specifically prioritize natural light as a design requirement. The H-shape delivers it structurally, without skylights, without light tubes, without any workaround technology. There is also a structural load argument here that engineers find compelling. The H-shape distributes load across 2 wings and a connecting spine rather than along a single long rectangular footprint. The 2 wings create natural bracing points. The connecting spine, properly engineered, acts as a stabilizing element between them. In high-wind regions, this matters. In areas where soil conditions vary, the distributed footprint can be an advantage. The H is not just a social geometry. It is a sound engineering geometry. The second reason is where the H-shape genuinely separates itself from every other single-story layout, and it comes down to one word: distance. In most homes, privacy is created by walls and doors. You close a door and you have privacy. The problem is that closing a door is a social act. It communicates something. It creates small frictions. the teenager who has to hear a comment about the closed door, the parent who feels excluded, the spouse who cannot tell whether the closed door means focus or conflict. The H-shape solves this differently. The two wings are physically separated, not by a door, by actual distance, by the full length of the connecting spine between them. The left wing and the right wing are not adjacent. They do not share a wall, they do not share a roofline junction. Sound does not travel between them through shared construction. A conversation in the primary suite does not reach the secondary wing. A teenager's music in one wing does not disrupt the grandparent reading in the other. Privacy is built into the footprint. You do not have to negotiate it, you do not have to enforce it. The geometry creates it automatically. For multi-generational families, this matters more than most designers acknowledge. According to the National Association of Realtors, 14% of recent home purchases have been multi-generational, and that number continues to climb as aging parents move in and adult children return home. These families do not need symbolic separation, they need genuine separation. The H-shape provides it structurally. Now, the kitchen question. This channel receives more comments about kitchens than about any other single feature. Older women, grandmothers who have run their own kitchens for decades, are not interested in sharing a kitchen under any circumstances. The H-shape accommodates this. The secondary wing can include a kitchenette, a prep sink, a compact refrigerator, a 2-burner induction cooktop, a microwave. It does not require a full second kitchen, but it requires acknowledging that for many multi-generational families, kitchen independence is not a luxury. It is a basic dignity. Here is the reason most architects will not say out loud. The H-shape does not just separate people. It creates a specific type of togetherness that rectangular homes cannot manufacture. The courtyard that the H frames, that open central space between the two wings, becomes what sociologists call a threshold space. A place that is neither fully inside nor fully outside. A place with no assigned function, which means it accepts whatever function the family needs it to have. On a summer evening, it is the gathering space. On a quiet morning, it is where one person has coffee alone without being isolated from the house. After a family disagreement, it is the place someone can step into without leaving, without retreating, without escalating. Rectangular homes have no equivalent space. You are inside or you are outside. The courtyard is both. And that ambiguity is not a design flaw. It is the most sophisticated social tool the H-shape offers. There is real research supporting this. Studies on residential design and family well-being consistently show that shared outdoor spaces accessible from multiple interior points, spaces visible from living areas, spaces that feel safe and enclosed, increase voluntary family interaction. Not forced interaction, voluntary interaction, the kind that builds relationships over years, not the kind that generates resentment over weeks. Think about how a family actually uses a home across a decade. Children grow. Parents age, relationships shift. The teenager who wants maximum distance at 16 wants proximity at 26. The grandparent who needs independence at 70 needs more connection at 80. The courtyard adapts to all of it. It is a fire pit space when the family wants gathering. It is a garden when someone needs purpose and calm. It is a play area when grandchildren visit. 2,000 years of residential architecture came to the same conclusion. The Romans knew it. The Koreans knew it. The traditional Hanok home used a central courtyard called a maru for exactly this purpose. The medieval English manor oriented its great hall between two wings so that movement through the house naturally created encounter. The geometry is not accidental. It is accumulated human wisdom about how families actually live. The fourth reason is about temperature, specifically about what the H-shape does to the air around it. A standard rectangular Barndominium presents a flat face to the wind. Air hits the wall and either rises over the roofline or pushes against the structure. There is no capture, no direction, no use made of the movement. In summer, this means the house absorbs heat from all sides equally. Cooling loads run high. Mechanical systems work constantly. The H-shape behaves differently. The two wings and the connecting spine create a partial enclosure, three sides of a sheltered space. Depending on orientation, the open face of the H can be positioned to catch prevailing breezes. As those breezes enter the courtyard, the enclosing wings accelerate and channel the air. The courtyard becomes cooler than the surrounding open yard because it is shaded by the wings for part of the day, and because moving air carries heat away from surfaces faster than still air. Research published in Building Science and Environmental Design journals shows that properly oriented enclosed or semi-enclosed courtyards can reduce ambient courtyard temperatures by 8 to 18 degrees Fahrenheit compared to unshaded open areas. That is the difference between a space usable on a July afternoon and a space that drives everyone back inside until after sunset. The wings themselves benefit from this effect. Rooms facing the courtyard experience lower radiant heat loads than rooms facing the open exterior. The courtyard air is cooler. The wings partially shade each other during the high heat hours of the day. This reduces cooling requirements, a benefit that compounds across decades of energy costs. In cold climates, the calculus shifts but does not disappear. A south-facing courtyard opening captures winter sun into a sheltered space. The thermal mass of the courtyard floor, concrete, stone, or brick, absorbs daytime solar gain and releases it slowly through the evening. Cold climate H-shaped barndominiums require specific engineering attention at the connecting spine. Snow load, ice damming, and thermal bridging at the corners are real issues that need to be addressed in the design phase, not discovered after the roof is on. One practical note, in any climate the path from garage to kitchen matters, arriving in rain, arriving in snow. An attached garage on one wing with a mudroom transitioning into the spine puts the shared kitchen within easy reach regardless of weather. The fifth reason is the one that makes the H-shape genuinely different from every other layout when you extend the timeline. Most homes are designed for one family stage. A young couple builds a family home and finds themselves empty nesters rattling around more space than they need or want to maintain. The house that fit perfectly at 45 feels wrong at 65 and impossible at 75. The H-shape is not designed for one stage, it is designed to evolve. In the early years, the second wing is a guest suite, a home office, a hobby space. When parents age and need proximity, the second wing becomes an independent living space, its own entrance, its own bathroom, kitchenette if needed, complete dignity and privacy. They can walk to dinner through the connecting spine without going outside. They cannot hear the primary household's evening conversations from their wing. When adult children return, and they are returning in numbers not seen since the post-war decades, the second wing absorbs them without disrupting the primary household. When grandchildren visit for extended stays, the wing accommodates them. When the multi-generational chapter eventually closes, the second wing converts again. A rental unit, a home-based business, a studio, a workshop. The wing does not know what it is supposed to be. That is its greatest quality. This kind of flexibility is not possible in a rectangular floor plan without significant renovation, walls moved, utilities rerouted, entrances added. In the H-shape, the flexibility is structural. The separate wing entrance was always there. The separate bathroom was always there. What changes is the furniture and the intention. For families who cannot afford the full H-shape now, the geometry accommodates phased construction better than most. Build the spine and one wing first. Live in it. Add the second wing when the budget and the family stage align. Build it right the first time when you can. Commission it from an architect who has actually worked with this geometry. The spine is the social and structural center of the whole design. Do not cut corners on it. This channel does not sell floor plans. We do not earn a commission if you build an H-shape. So here is the honest version. The first trade-off is land. The H-shape needs more of it, not just in square footage of footprint but in lot shape. A narrow lot will not accommodate the geometry without compromising the courtyard space that makes the design work. 120 feet of usable frontage is a reasonable starting point. If your lot is 60 feet wide, this is probably not your layout. Before you fall in love with this design, measure your land. The second trade-off is cost. More roofline, more exterior wall, more foundation perimeter. The H-shape costs more per square foot to build than a simple rectangle of equivalent interior space. How much more depends on your market, your builder, and your specification level. It is worth the premium for the families it serves. But the premium is real, and pretending otherwise does not help anyone. The third trade-off is design sensitivity. The proportions of the H-shape matter more than in a forgiving rectangle. Wings that are too short relative to the spine feel stumpy and lose the privacy geometry. Wings that are too long start to feel like two separate houses with an awkward connector. The courtyard width, the distance between the two wing faces, determines how usable and how private the outdoor space feels. Too narrow and it feels like an alley. Too wide and the wings lose their relationship to each other. These are not problems that experience fixes automatically. They require a designer who has actually worked with this geometry, who understands its proportional language. Commission this properly. Find an architect with H-shape experience. Ask to see completed projects. Ask to speak with the families who live in them. The geometry rewards good design and punishes shortcuts. Here is what this comes down to. Most families at some point sketch the same dream on paper. Two wings, a connecting middle, a space in between where the family gathers without anyone having to be summoned, where a grandparent can be close without being crowded, where a teenager can have real quiet without disappearing, where the couple at the center of the whole thing can close their wing and actually rest. That sketch is not naive. It is not unrealistic. It is 2,000 years of accumulated human wisdom about how families live well together. The H-shape delivers that sketch as a building. It will not be right for every lot. It will not be right for every budget. It is not a quick or simple build. But for the family that is thinking in decades, that wants a home to grow into and grow old in, a home that can hold the unexpected chapters alongside the planned ones, this geometry is worth every conversation you need to have to get it right. 2 questions for the comments. First, the practical one, would the H-shape fit on your current or planned lot? Give us a rough frontage number if you have it. We read every comment and we will tell you what we think. Second, the personal one, which of the 5 reasons hit hardest for you? The light, the privacy geometry, the courtyard as social space, the thermal performance, or the lifetime flexibility, the idea of a home that adapts as your family changes. Tell us which one you are still thinking about. If this went deeper than what you usually find, subscribe. That is what this channel does, not surface-level tour, not cost per square foot breakdowns that ignore what matters. Real design thinking for families who are serious about building right. We will see you in the next one. We will see you in the next one.